welcome back to the podcast. I'm your host, Otaku Mike, and with me, as always, is my heterosexual trainer partner, aka Jin Graves, and we are back again
What's up?
with another episode for you guys. This week, we are looking at Chapter 32, a little Kadabra'll do it. I think it's what it said. No, I read that wrong. A little Kadabra'll do it. I read that. Yeah, I don't know why I read that wrong before, but we are almost done with this book. I feel like
we're in the home stretch.
I feel like we're in the home stretch too, and I'm looking forward to talk about this next chapter. I have to say,
Right?
because oh boy, things get a going.
Things get heavy.
Hot and heavy. Which I have a question when we get to it.
Okay.
And I'm probably going to answer my own question like later on. But,
Oh, most definitely.
you want to lead us in this discussion, Mr. Graves?
Sure.
Yeah.
So, as my esteemed trainer colleague, Otaku Mike, has said, Kadabra'll will do it all day, okay?
That's true. And
I'm trying to find my page.
well, we start off with Green and Sabrina.
Yep, we're going back to where we left off from the last podcast. We've had our fights. We've had Red basically take on Lieutenant Surge, win. Blue, with the help of Red, take out Koga, win. And now we have Red going to the help of Green to defeat Sabrina for the win.
Which I just gotta say, I feel like Green's fight is a little bit different than Red and Blue's.
I
I feel
agree.
like Red and Blue are kind of like, I don't want to say like blunt force. Well, maybe not Blue, but like Red was kind of like blunt forced almost in his fighting
I
style.
agree. As we'll see in chapter 33 of how there are always three things that hold everything else in motion, I guess. I kind of feel like that's the way that it is with this. I mean, we have somebody that's kind of the mind, somebody that's the body, and somebody's like the heart.
Yeah.
So I would probably say like red is the body, blue is the mind, and green is probably the heart, even though she's kind of a thief.
Or the pickpocket.
That's true.
Yeah.
That is true. But she goes, which something I didn't know is that when she ran up these stairs, that she was already basically in like pitch darkness. I
Oh,
didn't
yeah.
catch that.
Yeah. True.
I didn't catch that in the last one because they mentioned it early in this one.
Yeah.
But I thought she was kind of in like a Japanese like Tokyo scene because it kind of looked like the tower in the background that we were talking about.
That's what I thought as well. That's what I thought they were in too.
Yeah,
Because
and I thought
we see her.
they were kind of like on a stage, like that you could see the building off in the distance.
I'm trying to see like where exactly she pops up. Where is it? I want to say it's in one of the last two chapters. Was the last chapter?
No, it's 2 chapters back.
Really? Okay, I missed it. But yeah, it's interesting to see like how Sabrina uses her psychic abilities to throw off Green.
Right.
And stuff. And Sabrina's very cocky in this situation.
Oh, yeah. Sabrina reminds me of, like, in a high school anime, you have that one girl that's, like...
That does, like, the cackle?
Well, she's popular, but she's not popular because of her looks. She's popular because of how she controls people.
I feel like she's like, that girl that goes like, oh.
Oh, I'd say that too.
Yeah,
But I would say she's probably almost like the high school girl that like is part of the occult club, but then it's also like she's partially popular.
she
Like
reminds me of.
maybe she's
Uh,
dating like the popular boy.
she kind of reminds me of Biko from Project Aco a little bit.
Oh yeah,
I get very big Biko vibes from her.
Pico, not Seiko.
Not fuck Zico.
um, yeah, but I mean, but she does set up the perfect situation. I mean,
Yeah,
she tries to do that. Green has the go goggles on. You know, 2 chapters back, whenever she's here, they get knocked off or whatever,
yeah, because
and
she puts up a smoke screen with Horsey.
yeah, and she thinks that that still kind of helps. But we find out from Sabrina with her psychic ability, she can see her with her mind's eye.
Like a third eye.
Yeah. Whoop. Um,
And
but we also find out that even though that we're in the smoke screen from Horsey, that we're almost kind of like in a telepathic box as well,
yeah.
which is kind of weird.
And it's funny to like see like when all the smoke one of the smoke screens like gone, like you're just in kind of like a forest.
Yeah. Looks like we're in a forest and stuff, and then after that disappears, we're just in a regular old room,
And I
which
like
is
it that
which throws me off. Like,
yeah.
wait, weren't they just da 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 da? Yeah,
I,
and
I
they're in the
like it
forest.
that Green is very much trying to use her like tricks of the trade, as being a thief, And I
Right.
like that, she tries to like, put those tricks in and fool Sabrina, like when she uses her smoke screen. But Sabrina's got one up on her, and she's like disabled, like basically paralyzes
Yeah.
Green, like just makes her stay there. And I like how Green, her tactic is to basically make fun of Sabrina and call her ugly.
Yeah.
It's like you
And
ugly
she
hag.
did that so she could hear her,
Yeah.
and then basically did that and sent Jigglypuff and Clefairy out to go get her.
So this is where my question is:
Okay.
when Jigglypuff and Clefairy come out, did they come out of her bra? Because that's where it looked like she came out from. If you
Uh,
look where the puff is coming from, it's coming from her chest. If you remember, Green stuffs her bra with Pokeballs.
that is true. I don't know. Um, I think it's too close to know.
My head canon: Jigglypuff and Clefairy live in the titties.
Jiggly jiggly.
That's why they jiggle it.
Jesus. um, yeah. Well, she's under the hallucination, and then I find the pick of what they're using is kind of dumb
That's
because you
funny.
have
That's funny.
Jigglypuff use sing and Clefairy is using growl,
Yeah, and they
and
kind of
I'm like, that
disorient.
is stupid.
Sabrina. They take her out though. Like it does the job,
Right,
you
right.
know.
And then we got our, like you said, tools of the trade. She pickpockets her to take the soul badge and leaves.
And then we get Red. Red shows up and he's like, "Man, this place is a big maze. I don't know really what he's looking for, but he finds this thing, and it's on like a pedestal. It has all the indentions of where each badge would go.
The first 7, yep.
Yeah, the first 7 badges, and he picks it up. He's like, "Oh man, this is heavy," and he sees like a bunch of like, or a couple of grunts, Team Rocket grunts, and they're like
Yep.
looking for him, and he hears them, and he hides behind the pedestal, and we see Sabrina walk through, and she's like, "Did you see an ugly girl run around here?" And they're like, "No," and she like sends off the Team Rocket grunts, and she's kind of like
Right.
looking around and whatnot, and she goes into the room and stops, and Red's like, I gotta do what I gotta do, I gotta act first, and he like he's like, "Oh, I got all these badges, you know," and he starts to put all these things together, and like, "Oh, maybe I can put the badges into this circle device." And I love this scene where he basically's like, "All right, I gotta take out Sabrina first." He throws Pikachu at Sabrina, and Pikachu doesn't attack Sabrina because
Yep.
that's not Sabrina. That is Green.
Right.
How did she change her face? Did she use Ditto? Did she?
Oh, it could be.
Because her like face like melts off at one
Yeah.
point.
That's what I was trying to figure out too. I was like, what did she use?
When this part came up, I was like, "Holy
Yeah,
shit!"
it's Ditto.
It is it.
Yeah,
Oh, it is.
if you go to after she takes it off and then she throws something on the floor and it's Ditto.
Oh, is it?
Mm.
Oh, it is Ditto. I can see the face. I can see the face. That's crazy how Ditto mimics human voices. So Ditto is a very strong Pokemon, I feel like. People take him for granted.
I don't know if he mimicked her voice. I think he could have just mimicked her face.
Maybe.
But then we get Blue, who goes to the basement,
And
and
he's got his Golbat mirror thingy.
he's got Koga's gold bat mirror.
I like it, that little detail where the Golbat has a bandage on its head.
Yeah,
It's funny.
which I kind of wonder. I feel like the last time I read this series, when we got into like the next book, he ended up keeping the skull bat, but I
Did he?
can't remember that. I feel so, but I'm not 100% sure.
I mean, I don't think Blue is one to abandon his Pokemon.
I know, but this one's not his; it's Koga's.
Well, maybe he was like, "Hey, come with me. You know, let's
Maybe he's like change of heart.
change of heart. You know, we can be a good Golbat."
You can be my friend. Here,
Yeah.
and then on this one where Professor Hope is behind the box, he's like, "You can even ride on my head."
I feel like they put Professor Oak in a really bad hiding spot.
Oh, they did. I agree with you.
Like, did they
And then,
mend? They
and then
meant
I'm
for him
confused
to
because
find him. You know,
we don't know what is in any of these boxes.
I bet
But
it's dead Pokemon.
oh god, sending them out for food.
Yeah.
Um, but then he does tell us that this is just basement number one. There's actually a second basement where all the people from Pallet Town have been stored, and it's because they have an innate empathy for the feelings of Pokemon.
Which we've heard about this before, I believe.
Not the innate feelings towards the Pokemon. We heard about the part that's going to come up here in a second.
Oh, the part where Pallet Town is like the best place for Pokemon
Yes.
because it's like a clean place.
Pallet Town is like Dulaw.
Yeah.
You know,
Exactly.
it's such a perfect town.
Yeah.
You
But we
can clean
see
your face and wipe your. We won't go there.
wipe your a booty.
But they went. We jump back up to. I really want to say this is like the fourth floor, but I'm not sure.
I want to say they're higher up.
Yeah. Green pulls out the soul badge, says, I will exchange this
Oh, it's
with
the
you
Marsh.
if you give
It
me
says it's the Marsh Badge.
Okay.
Is it different in yours?
No, soul badge must be the heart one then.
Okay. Yeah, because she's
I
like,
was
I'll
reading
trade you for the Moonstone.
Yeah, I was reading the list whenever they were putting them in the thing, and that's what threw me off. Yeah. So I'll trade you the Marsh Badge if you give me the Moonstone, and we will go from there.
Yeah, and they have this really funny exchange of, come on, I'm good for it. Like, I'm not gonna swindle you out of anything. You know me.
Right? I'll be your
Which
friend.
I'll be
We
your
can work
friend.
together. We can
And
work together.
Green goes to give Red the badge, and he goes to swap the stone out with her, and coming to find out, Green gives him a fake badge.
No, this one's real.
Oh, this one's real.
This one's real. We'll see the other
Oh,
one in a second.
okay.
But here's where my question is. We're on page 45.
Mm-hmm.
So you see on the one where Red is basically putting the Marsh Badge into the thing.
Yeah.
And if you look, both of these bubbles that are in here are thought bubbles.
Oh, they are, aren't they?
Yeah, they're not said out loud. But then when we get to the next one where we know that it's going to end up Sabrina, where she says, all the more reason to eliminate you as if I needed more of a reason.
Yeah.
And I kind of questioned because I read that and I was like, wait, how did she answer the question when she thought about it? And I was like, is she psychically reading Green at the moment?
Is Sabrina?
Is Sabrina reading the thoughts that Green is talking about Red?
Ooh, because that thought bubble isn't going towards green; it's going towards somebody else.
Both the thought bubbles are going towards Green, and then the other one where they're both kind of shocked,
Uh
that's the
huh.
one that's being answered. That's Sabrina talking out loud about whatever
Oh,
Green
okay.
was thinking about.
Yeah, because Sabrina finally shows back up,
Yeah.
and we
So
find out that this circle tablet thing is apparently a secret weapon to, if I remember correctly, to control the Pokemon. Right?
no.
No,
This
it's to
thing,
summon. It's to summon a Pokemon.
yeah, it's to summon the special thing that we had for all the experiments leading up to this point.
Yeah,
So, um, and we'll talk about that in 1 second.
yeah,
But he puts all the things in. Green lied to Red, saying that, hey, this basically makes your Pokemon, it makes their power like double. And so he's holding it up, trying to see if it'll work for Pikachu, and nothing happens. Nothing happens. They get attacked by Kadabra, and Green ends up pulling this thing away from Red. And we find out that basically he got swindled again.
yeah. And I love the scene where like he's like, "Get ready, Pikachu!" Pikachu's like in front of him, and like the thing doesn't work, like you said.
Yeah,
Like it's just a funny like moment
right.
because
Yeah,
like why would Green intentionally stop something from happening, even if her
right.
like life depended on it? That's such a weird character like
Right.
thing to
When
have.
she's supposed to kind of be working with him, and
Yeah,
like this still shows us that she's not, she didn't have her head in the game yet
no,
as part of the team.
she still wants Mew. Like her main goal is Mew.
Right. And I wonder if that's who what she thinks this is, because we're not told that, and we're not 100% sure that Mew is who's going to pop out of this disc.
Yeah, she
And
thinks it's Mew.
she tells us, and it kind of is like a double blind. She tells us that a new Pokemon's going to come out of it, which
Yeah,
isn't necessarily true, but it is. So,
which she ends up putting
um,
out in all the badges, and this like ball of light comes out, and she like follows this ball of light,
yeah,
and
and
it
this
goes.
is also where we find out too that back whenever she gave the two badges back to Red, the Boulder badge and the Cascade badge,
Hmm.
that those ones were fake.
Yeah,
So way back when, whenever she got Snorlax or he got Snorlax, and they were fighting with the Squirtle and everything, and she gave him that note and everything back. Those were the fake badges. So he's been carrying these two fake badges for
ever.
yeah. I mean, because that happened in I think book one.
It did, I think.
So um, which here's one of the parts coming up that I'm a little upset about is we didn't necessarily get our fight with just Moltres and everything.
Yeah,
We have Moltres and Sabrina has Kadabra pull in Articuno and Zapdos. And
yeah,
as
and the
this is
ball of light is
happening,
behind Red and Pikachu.
yeah, as this is happening, Green puts in the last two badges that need to go in here. She throws away the fake Cascade Badge and Boulder Badge, puts in the real one, and this kind of ball of light comes out and flies in front of Red, and and that's it for that moment.
And
Because
then we get this
we get
moment.
interrupted.
We get interrupted by like uh, people basically storming the city, and it's like
Yes,
they're like the Team Rocket is like going crazy because they're like they don't know what to do, and apparently Brock shows up with Onyx, and he takes over. What gate does he take over? But he goes
he
for a
takes over the
fight.
South.
Takes over the south. Misty takes over the northern gate, and
Yes,
Erica takes the western gate, and the
yes.
rest of Erica's followers take the eastern gate. Which, when they popped up, I was like, what the hell is going on? Because we haven't seen them in quite some time.
Right,
Like, it's been, we last time we saw Erica was with the Eevee, with what happened to Eevee and stuff.
right.
So Saffron City is basically surrounded, and they're trying to cut Team Rocket off. And apparently, these are unknown allies. So I don't think Red and Green and Blue know they're around.
No, I
Is
don't
what
think
I
so.
was what I caught.
I feel like Blue should have known this because he came in through that hole, or went out through that hole, and then flew back in through the hole
Yeah,
that they had. But that's neither here nor there if we actually know that, if he knows that or not, because it's not brought up.
yeah,
But we get a quick look where we go back to where this little orb is going, and it looks like it's going very fast, but we don't know what it's doing. And
no,
that's
and
where our chapter ends.
yeah, that's where it ends. So, do you want to go first, or do you want me to go first on my thoughts on this?
It doesn't matter.
I have to say, it was interesting to see the fight. I expected more out of Green's fight, just a little bit, but I
I
don't.
did too.
I kind of feel like she got a little bit of the short shaft, which I'm disappointed in because I like Green as a character. I also like that she kind of like pulls this the wool over everybody's eyes, even my eyes, because I was like, oh, she's supposed to be working together with them. Yeah, eventually, she's got to be working with them, right? But no, no, she's
Right.
not. She's still in it for her own gain, which I'm very. I mean, I know who her father is, uh, which I don't want to get like meta into this or not, but like I can see why she's in for it for herself. You know,
Yeah.
um, I mean, because correct me if I'm wrong. Her father is Giovanni, right?
Yes.
That's what I thought. Yeah.
But
Uh,
I don't remember if her, and later on we find out her brother, are actually know that.
they don't.
I'm
They don't
not
know
sure.
that.
I don't think they find that out till
They're
later.
they're like, I know. Her brother does. Later on, he finds out.
And I think the same thing happens with her too, though.
Yeah.
Like they both didn't
They're
know.
kind of like illegitimate children of the leader of Team Rocket.
Right. Right.
I mean, like, I did like this one, but it was very much felt like the tail end of the story for this particular section. And I liked how Green was sneaky about it, like I said, and like it made me interested to where everything was going. I wasn't expecting Brock or Misty or Erica to show up at all. Like when I
Right.
turned that page, I was like, "Holy shit!" Like it was a holy shit moment.
Right.
So because I forget, that like they're in this as well because we haven't seen them in such a long time.
Right. Yeah. Oh
And
yeah.
like,
And and as much as we have taken breaks from this, it seems even more longer than that. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
So, like the other thing is we know like it's basically like 4-4 on bad guys and good guys for the gym
yeah,
leaders. And like that's the other thing. Like I had to remember this because I was like, okay, we got them, we got that. Oh, and Erica's people are. Wait, who's the other guy that's supposed to that should have technically already been there?
Blaine.
And it was Blaine, and I was like, oh
Blaine
yeah,
wasn't there.
where is he at right now?
Yeah, like where's Blaine? Like last time we saw Blaine was like when he had the Rapidash
Right.
and
Well, and
stuff.
they had to do the stuff with the Articuno,
Yeah,
which
yeah,
we've had that brought up like twice.
yeah.
In
That's
the
true.
story about oh well, it was me and that Articuno and blah blah blah.
Yeah.
But we haven't really like gotten to part of that stuff,
When
so
we
it's
get to
kind of
when we get to the next chapter, when Red sees a certain somebody, I'm
yeah.
surprised he didn't call that person out and be like, "Hey, how's it going?" Like because nobody knows he's attached to Team Rocket.
That's true. Well, the other thing is I don't know per se if Red knows that or not, but
No, no, but he
he might
knows who
just
he
say
is.
he might just be like, "Oh, that's a familiar face,"
Yeah, like, hey, what are you doing here? Like,
I don't know if he actually knows who the person is in Team Rocket though,
yeah,
or if he would just think, "Oh, well, that's probably somebody that got rescued from one of the towns that they
but
captured."
I do think I do think it's cool that we have like this rift, almost like a civil war between the gym leaders.
Right? Yeah.
Like, we got our good guys and our bad guys. We got to
See,
just
and I can't wait till we get more into that with the rest of this series, the other half of this series, when we
yeah.
get into Yellow's story and everything.
Oh, I am so excited for
And
Yellow.
of course, whenever we get into um, gold and silver and everything, whenever they actually come back and make their comeback with those gym leaders.
Yeah,
So that's one of the other things I can't wait is for us to be able to cover enough to get to that area where
yeah,
we do actually get to see merging of the worlds, because now we just have basically like um Gen 1, and then when we get into Gen 2 you get to see the spillover from Gen 1 and 2 both being in the same thing, versus like with the games where you're just kind of set in that one, you know what I'm saying?
yeah. No, no, I agree.
So
I
um
agree.
but I agree with you. I enjoyed this one. um Again, like my only gripe was I kind of wanted to have like a fight where Moltres was involved in it.
Yeah,
Um, and then maybe what we know is about to come in the next chapter happen, but you know,
yeah. And I wanted to see more of Green's abilities in like fighting with
right,
Pokemon. Um, like we got with Blue and Green. Like they had their big like hey hurrah moments, and like
right,
Green was like a yeah,
right. Well,
we
and
did
the other
it.
thing is she's kind of the only person out of the group that really doesn't have evolved Pokemon.
She has Blastoids.
I know, but Blastoise is the only one really.
Yeah, that's true.
All of her other guys are kind of like small and cute because she's got Horsey, she's got Jigglypuff, Clefairy, Ditto, and Blastoise. So
Well,
she's got.
in the next one, she will have an evolved Pokemon. We'll
She
get
will.
to
She
it.
will get another one. Um, but I do like too. You might not see it unless it's an art page. I really like how the front of our book too, for book 3 of mine, we do
Uh-huh.
have we have Red's entire team. So we have Pikachu, Gyarados, Aerodactyl, Snorlax, Poliwrath, and we know at some point we're getting Venusaur, so he's on the cover.
I do have that page.
He's kind of
Uh,
bent over, kneeling a little bit.
yeah, it's at the very front of the book. So when we get that, we get one where he's like running with Ivysaur and Pikachu and Poliwrath. And then we get one with a Blues team where he has Charmeleon, Golduck, Pidgeot, and Scyther.
Oh yeah, and that
And
one's wrong
then
already too.
after that, which I love this little touch. So we have Green. She has Blastoids, Horsey, Clefairy, and Jigglypuff. I
Yeah.
like the little picture where Ditto is on like Blastoise's blaster cannon.
Yeah.
He's just like sitting up there, just chilling on the cannon.
Right.
Yeah, which those aren't in the art book that I have. Those
Oh
pictures
yeah.
aren't. I don't think they are because they
Oh, they
only.
aren't.
Well, the art book only. We'll get a little tangents. The art book only covers the second artist for the Pokemon series.
Oh,
It
okay.
doesn't cover the first artist because, like, with the first artist, Maito leaves after Yellow, I believe.
Yeah.
The Yellow books.
Yeah.
I think they might. No, I think the new artist starts with like Crystal or something or Gold.
Okay.
I can't remember, but yeah. Which if there's a really interesting backstory behind that later on because the original artist gets sick
Yeah.
and they had an option. They could have ended the series or they could continue with different artists. I don't know why the other artist never came back. So I
Yeah.
can't find any information on that artist. But like the artist who came to fill in had like big shoes to fill. Apparently,
Yeah.
like the Pokemon manga fans were like, "We don't like you.
Jesus.
We want the other person back." And
Jesus.
so he had to like win him over because I think he's still doing the book to this day. I know the writer is doing the book to this day.
Yeah.
I think the artist might. I can't remember exactly, but yeah, he he had to win over. He's gonna have to win me over too, because I like the original artist as well. Because I haven't gotten to his books yet for the new stuff or the newer stuff, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
But yeah, little tangent, But this was a good episode. I feel like
Right.
we'll be
I agree.
seeing you guys on the next video or next not video, the next podcast.
This is true. We'll
Don't
see
forget
you
to
in the
rate
next
and
podcast.
review the podcast. Tell your friends, share the podcast. Give us feedback on our Instagram page, Otakuology Podcast. And we'll catch you guys on the next episode. Stay safe. And
Yeah,
when are
you
we going to
will.
see them?
Oh, we'll see you next Tuesday.
See you next Tuesday.